Alright guys, hope you're all having a really nice day. Today I thought I'd do a little mini review on the Fujifilm WCL-X100 Mark II wide conversion lens adapter for the X100. It's a bit of a mouthful. I want to say before we start the video properly that I've not been sent this by Fujifilm. I'm not being paid to review this or anything like that. I bought it with my own money because I have no self-control and I just I can't stop buying camera things. I think I've got an issue, but it's going to be totally unbiased. I'm not going to try and sell you it. So last week, me, my partner Joe and my friend Scott went to check out this little hidden gem kind of location. It's like a little shanty town on the northeast coast, and I'd actually went to check it out a couple of weeks ago, but when I got there I discovered there was a landslide, and not while I was there, but the landslide had completely took away the path, and someone had tied a rope to a bit of fence so you could abseil down the, it's not really a cliff, it was a steep hill, but it was icy, there was no phone signal, and I was on my own and I'm really accident prone, so I just thought that's not a good idea, I'll come back. So when I came back I thought, right, I'll test out this, I'm not going to say the name of it again, the wide angle, the wide thing. So for anyone who doesn't know, the wide conversion lens turns your 35mm lens that's built into the camera into a 28mm lens, and I picked this up for around about £200. I think it was just over £200. I got it from MBP, so I got it second hand because I couldn't find any new ones in stock. It's a lot like the old adapters that you used to get, like the little £20–30 ones that you'd screw on the front of your kit lens for your Canon SLR, and you would get it would make your lens wider but the quality would be awful. It's a bit like that, but this is actually really, really good quality. So let's find out if it's worth the price. It turns out the route down there wasn't really that bad at all. Other than getting a tiny bit of rope burn, it was pretty easy to get to the bottom. However, it was fairly dry and I think it would have been a bit of a nightmare in the wet. At the bottom, there was loads of what looked like little DIY holiday homes. They all appeared to have been constructed from stuff that washed up on the beach. Overall, a really cool little spot, and there was so much to photograph and explore. So to be honest, the first time I put the WCL adapter on my X100, I was just at home. I didn't really see much difference between that and the standard field of view of the camera, and I have to admit that when I first got it after spending so much money on it, I was kind of disappointed. I really just expected to screw it on my camera and it just massively increased the field of view, but it didn't really do that much. But in situations like this, especially where space is really tight and I wanted a shot of the entire building, it was kind of essential. And I think getting an extra bit of context in shots, for example a bit of blue sky or being able to see what's next door, will always help to tell a better story. One thing I noticed straight away is that it affects the frame lines in the OVF. I guess there's just not enough space in there to show a 28mm field of view, so you kind of just have to assume everything you see through that viewfinder will be in the shot, which I don't really think is the case. You can also clearly see the adapter through the OVF, which obstructs quite a large portion of the frame, so I'd probably just recommend shooting with the EVF if you're going to use this. One other thing related to how much it sticks out is that it basically renders the built-in flash useless, as it creates a huge shadow across your shot, as you might expect. Quality wise, I'm not a pixel peeper and I add a ton of grain to my photos anyway, so none of my shots are particularly sharp, but I would say it's definitely on par with the standard lens. I didn't notice any drop in quality at all really. I did notice that I got more lens flares than usual, but I usually have a lens hood on which probably stops most flares anyway, so I can't really comment too much on that. Overall, I'm really happy with the quality of the shots. Build quality wise, it's also fantastic. It's completely made of metal and glass, it's solid, it feels very premium, and it takes the same 49mm filters as a standard lens, which is really handy if you use something like a Pro Mist filter, because they're quite expensive, so you don't need to buy another one. One thing I will say is that it is pretty heavy and it does increase the size and weight of the camera, but for me this is not a massive issue, but it's definitely not pocketable anymore. So in terms of the actual location, it was pretty eerie. There was not really many people around. There was a couple of people walking dogs. I didn't really know if there was anyone inside this house. It was all locked up. I really kind of wanted a shot of my mate sat on the sofa out the front, but I didn't really want to risk doing it and someone come out and be really angry and start throwing rocks at us. Like I said earlier, there's no phone signal down there. Probably the prime place to get murdered, so didn't think that was a good idea. This little house made out of a boat had a nice little window for when you were sleeping on your foam mattress that you could look out of and I guess see the shack that someone had built over the road from you. There was a pretty big spider's web on it. Don't really think that I would want to be sleeping there, to be honest with you, but it made a pretty cool photo. So back to the Fuji wide angle adapter. Do I think it's worth it? Well, I guess it depends. If you constantly feel the need to get wider shots with your camera, this is the only option you have for the X100V. I think at the moment I am kind of preferring the 28mm field of view, but it comes with some pretty big sacrifices like the OVF, not being able to use the flash, and just increasing the overall size and weight of the camera. I also think the main charm of the X100V for me is that the fact that it's got a fixed length 35mm lens means that you don't have to worry about switching lenses, or you don't ever have to worry about, oh, maybe I should switch this lens for this shot or whatever. Having this on you kind of does give you that choice, and it kind of ruins the experience a little bit maybe, and I feel that can kind of take you out of the immersion of shooting. You know, like if you, I don't know, say you line up a shot and then you're like, oh, would this look better with this lens? Having this adapter gives you that choice, and I don't really think that that's a good thing. I think if you're limited to one focal length, it definitely makes you like a bit more creative with your shots, so that kind of takes that away from the experience. I think if this was £100, I would say definitely go out and buy it. It's 100% worth it, but the fact that it's so much money, I don't know, if money's no object to you, definitely go out, buy it, give it a go. But I think there's probably better things you could spend £200 on, so would I recommend it? I don't know, maybe not. I'm not going to sell mine, so I don't know. Maybe that gives you the answer that you need. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you can. It really helps the channel, and I will see you in the next one.